Hey everyone, Nux333 here, and I'm back with another video. Now, this is probably unexpected and sudden considering my huge video droughts lately, but I'm not going to get into those too much right now. Just know that I am back for sure. Though I am not really in a big upgraded way. Basically I just want to start rolling out in a usual video format so I build momentum for the channel again. But let's get rolling on to the topic of today's video, and that is Nintendo. Nintendo. Now, around this time, you guys know I usually do prediction or speculation videos for E3. I have done it for at least 2 years now, and with this year, I was really excited because I was hoping Nintendo was really going to go in this year. With E3 2014, I was kind of disappointed because it mostly relied on Super Smash Bros. And it didn't have too many really bombing games, specifically for the Nintendo Wii U. And with E3 2015, I never really gave my thoughts on that, but basically, it was a disaster. I'm sorry that I never really got my review out for you guys before it, but I had the script, but I just couldn't really talk about it at the time. I did get a live reaction out though, but other than that, basically, yeah, it was really frustrating and it was pretty bad. So with the droughts and the disappointments that Nintendo has had throughout the years with E3, I had expectations that this year would be way better, that they would learn from their mistakes, and that this time they would improve. For one thing, E3 2016 was going to be great based off one thing and one thing alone. And that being the potential that the Nintendo NX would be there. The Nintendo NX is Nintendo's next system that has been shrouded in mysteries for months on end. It had so little information yet so much hype around it. Everyone is just tired of the Wii U at this point due to the droughts, the failing numbers. Even Nintendo is tired of the Wii U. They're really kicking it to the curb this year with stuff such as, saying that, oh, well, we're going to move our focus to the NX, but we'll still have it for the 3DS and the Wii U. It'll just be there. And so it really is time to talk about the new system, the NX, and E3 2016 was looking to be that time. There was so much speculation and hype with, all the questions that we had about it. Will Zelda be on the NX? Will the NX be gimmicky? Will it be stronger than the PS4 and the Xbox One? Or even the new PS4 model, the PS4 Neo or the PS4K, as the codenames of that system is. And that was until the night of the investor meeting that Nintendo had that dropped major pieces of news involving E3, NX, and The Legend of Zelda. It was good because many people were really starving for this news and wanted some concrete information from Nintendo. Some just could not wait for E3, and they dropped at least 4 major bombs, one being that Zelda U was coming to the NX, even though for some people that really wasn't a bomb because it was just something so obvious. Zelda U and its NX version were delayed to March 2017, and the NX itself was delayed into March 2017 as well. It was weird because a lot of people were expecting that 2016 holiday release date, and some feel like it's weird that Nintendo decided to push it back. Now, personally, I feel like the NX and Zelda was definitely pushed back to 2017 as a late decision, but who truly knows at this point? A statement from the current Nintendo president, I'm gonna butcher his name, Kimishima, if that's how it's pronounced, says that they delayed it to work more on NX games. In that case, it sounds okay, but it still kind of has me iffy because they're working on more games for the NX, but again, the holiday season of 2016 would have just made more sense. But the real problems rise with that 4th piece of news, which was that the NX was not going to be shown at this year's E3 2016. It's not going to be there at all, nothing. And to make it worse, the only game they're going to show off at that E3 this year is allegedly Zelda U. And I mean literally the only game shown off at their E3. It'll be live stream, it'll have this show floor stuff, but it's so weird that they're just gonna bring one game. And most people just really take the doom and gloom stance where, it's like Nintendo is only bringing one game to E3. It's horrible. And when you think about it, it kind of is. A lot of people have started saying E3 doesn't matter, but you know, that's just really dumb, especially for some Nintendo fans who say this because E3 mattered when we thought the NX was going to be there, but just because Nintendo pulls out doesn't mean E3 is suddenly irrelevant. Like Nintendo, if Nintendo did show the NX at E3, then I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would be praising that Nintendo won that E3. So to suddenly say that E3 is irrelevant for Nintendo and that it doesn't matter, that's completely hypocritical, especially to people who would praise Nintendo if they did well at E3 anyway and make a big deal out of E3. But just because they know that Nintendo is probably not going to do that great, suddenly E3 is irrelevant. But the big question overall is, what are the major positives and negatives to this? And it's really hard to find the bigger positives to just going to E3 with Zelda U and literally nothing else, no NX, not even no other Wii U games. I mean, heck, it's not even just Zelda U and Zelda NX, it's literally just Zelda U, as in it's just going to be the Wii U version of the new Zelda with no NX version. So it makes you wonder, when are we going to get this NX information? It's just going to make us starve for when the true NX information comes. And while the date seems to basically say that we'll get everything around March 2017, which isn't too far away, but at the same time, you know, we still know nothing concrete about the NX, and we can't really fully rely on rumors and speculation for hype, because that's exactly what they are. They're just rumors and speculation. We can get excited about it and talk about it, and it can guide us over, but at the end of the day, we're not going to accept it as true. It's not going to keep us up at night because it's just a rumor or it's just speculation. So when it comes to concrete information, NX, all we know is basically that Zelda will be on it. That's it. So first, let's stop analyzing the entire situation and look at the whole NX at E3 thing from a personal opinion. I do still think that it really is stupid of Nintendo to just not show up to E3 with anything major other than Zelda. I mean, they're just going to miss out on a lot of built-up hype, advertisement, just a lot of a good word at E3, because you already know that there's already a lot of bad word and, you know, just doom and gloom surrounding Nintendo, and them skipping out on E3 will just make it worse. It'll make people say, you know, Nintendo is just being the inferior losers that they are usually, or they're saying that they're pushing out of E3, and people are just saying that because, I mean, Nintendo's not going to E3, so you can't really avoid that from not going. There's got to be some type of gain to going. You only have all to gain by going to E3. Even if you do have a bad show at E3, or like you have at the 2015 one, that doesn't mean that it's E3's itself fault. It just means you didn't have a good showing at E3. You still have nothing but advantages from E3 if you have a good E3 presentation. But at the same time, some people say, well, Nintendo really hasn't never been that big at E3, and they may want to try and have their own show so that they have more spotlight. And I could kind of see that, but again, that marketing though. And the question is, would the E3 hype give the Nintendo NX better of a jump than if NX is presented in its own way? And that's my wondering concern. What can NX have in marketing for the next few months that can get it to really blow up in hype? So that brings us to another question. When is Nintendo going to show off that NX information? And it's because Nintendo is really kicking the Wii U to the curb. Like I explained earlier, it's become way too obvious. They've even made quotes about it. It's got so few to none games this year that we're basically starving on it if you were relying on it as a pure platform. I hope you have a 3DS or a good gaming PC or some other system, because Wii U is just really looking to be a dry period, especially up until that March release. There's just no abundance of games. And it's made even worse by the fact that there's no digital event either, which means, you know, they're not even going to highlight any possibly new Wii U games. I'm sure we'll get directs that'll reveal a few new games along the way, but it just goes to show there's like no major games this year, like nothing truly mind-blowing. Like, we have Paper Mario Color Splash, the Fire Emblem crossover with Shin Megami Tensei, but other than that, we really have not that many big games. We've just been waiting too long with the promise of greater content ahead of the future. And that's a big distraught, I feel like, is with Nintendo fans overall, this whole waiting game. For example, E3 2015. When we were going through all those droughts towards E3, and we thought it was going to be decent, but all those barren and empty games were shelled out as reveals, such as Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Metroid Federation Force, Mario Tennis, all of that. Those were our Wii U games for that year, and they were just empty. What did we do? We had to wait on the promise that Nintendo's new system would not be this. It would have a good launch. It would have a good system that would meet our expectations and give us way better games than the Wii U did, especially those last few years. So I feel like that's why NX expectations are just really out there and high, because people want to have that faith in a Nintendo platform again, and especially the games. So as to when it will truly be shown off, who knows? It could be teased or shown off anyway at E3 2016. Some say it could still be in that summer time frame around July, and maybe as late as September around things like Tokyo Game Show. I've heard rumors that it could be showed off at the Tokyo Game Show. But basically, I give it until that July to September time frame that we will get NX information. So I know I was wordy with this video anyway, but here's the conclusion to take from it. I definitely am still very disappointed that Nintendo won't have as much of a blowout at E3 as many people, including myself, thought. And especially by that main fact, we will allegedly get nothing on NX at the show, and we basically have like Zelda as the sole game, and oh man, Zelda better be a really good game if they're willing to put that much spotlight on it. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on the whole NX Zelda E3 situation with Nintendo. Overall, we just gotta wait and see how things play out. And right now, things are kind of concerning, at least in my eyes, because it just feels like Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing right now. I mean, maybe they do know what they're doing, and NX is about to be the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. Or maybe they don't know what they're doing, and we've been waiting for nothing, which is really what I don't want to be the case, but we will see. But yeah, that's it. I think I've talked long enough, so that's all I have to say. This has been Nux333, and I'm out, guys. Be sure to check out Facebook and Twitter if you want more updates, more thoughts on this stuff on a daily basis, as opposed to just my rare and golden YouTube videos. But other than that, I'm out. Peace.